Well, I just picked up a new saw. This is actually a brand name. Surprise, surprise. I got this for $150. I had to go maybe a half-hour drive to pick it up. This is not a chainsaw. Surprise, surprise. This is actually, you can cut concrete with it and you can cut steel. So this is an old Husqvarna. Really not that old, actually new compared to our standards. It's a Husqvarna. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to read this or not. It's a 375K. It has like 74 cc's on it, and you can put a 14-inch blade on here. Hopefully you guys can see that. With a 1-inch arbor. And you can use this to cut concrete, cut rebar, and cut steel. So I have a trailer, an old canoe trailer I want to cut apart for the steel. Steel, as you all know, is very, very, very expensive. And I also have a second boat trailer. I'm going to get rid of one of my boats, but I just put it out by the road for free. And then I'll keep the trailer for myself, so I have a whole bunch of extra pieces and parts and steel and bolts and all sorts of things that I'll use. So that's kind of what I'm planning on this. Cut the canoe trailer apart and take apart the other boat trailer also. But the problem with this saw is it did not, the guy he said it did run before, but he couldn't get it to run now. And he says it's too much for him to pull. The guy really wasn't, he wasn't old or anything, but it has a decompression valve, and that seems to work. My brother and I tested the compression on it, and it really only has about I think it was around 45 psi of compression, which it should have coughed. It should have done something, but I'm really not entirely sure why. I think someone was already in here, because there's numbers on the top of the cylinder. I had this cover off and this cover off here, and someone had been inside of here and replaced, I think it was either the piston or the cylinder walls, and they didn't put the right one in. So when the piston comes down, a two-stroke does not have any valves in it. For anyone that doesn't know that, there's no valves in a two-stroke engine. You have the exhaust first and then the intake. So as the piston makes revolutions, you know, it's expelling the exhaust gases through the first hole and then coming down further and getting air from the intake. And this piston is too large, I think, so it doesn't let any air get into the saw. So that's my guess. I think someone has the wrong parts in this thing. So I have ordered a rebuild kit, which is this box right here, for about $80-some. I bought that, and then this kit here is a brand new carburetor for another, I think it was around 50. So call it 150 plus another 150 for the saw. So I'll have $300 in this, and then I'm gonna buy some blades, which is another 150. So there's about $450 I'll have in this saw. But I can cut concrete, I can cut steel I-beams, I can do all sorts of things with this thing. It needs a hose and stuff hooked up, but I guess let's rebuild the top end of this thing and put some proper parts in it. The parts were specifically made for a 375K Husqvarna chainsaw. So let's get started here. Gotta do some carb adjustments. So this was right after the rebuild. I did a little bit of carb adjusting, and hopefully it'll fire right up. And we're going to cut this tube right here. You got her on. Lots of power. My new toy.
Yeah.